flag has waved. Ah, right. Now, I see what has happened here. Now, this is how the grid is meant to be happening, because it's meant to be Farin Mega with Nikita Genza, Janis Diak and Montego Mas, and that's row 2. Row 3 is Mikkel Pedersen and Lewis Jacobs. Row 4, Nevio Fischer and Lewis Stettling. Moritz Volber and Gregor Feigenspann are meant to complete the top 10. Ahead of Adrian Hoare, Oli Glan, Rafael Henhofer, Leandro Fischer, Rafael Balzer, Jonas Ungnade, Zino Falke, Austin Lee, Maximilian Schreier, David Schnell, rounding out the top 20. Right. Now this is interesting. So I'm going to round out what the rest of the grid should be. It's Richard Thomas, Tom Müller, Hugo Guttel, Leon Vakula and Johnny Mutz. So we have Farin Mega, Nikita Genza, Mikkel Pedersen, Nevio Fischer, Lewis Stettling, who are not going to be part of the rolling start, just by what I've seen. So that is going to be an interesting dynamic for Wertungslauf 1. Penultimate race of their season. Farin Mega is one step away. One step away from being added to the honour roll of Junior Road Tax champions, following on from last year's champion, Valentin Klus. So effectively, your pole position is going to Janis Diak with Montego Masson alongside on the front row. How's about that for something different? Okay, 11 minutes on the clock. Into the tram lines we go. Revs rise, and I'm wondering if we do get a start. I don't think we are, because they've just right. I thought as much. Red flag has been called. Well, I think it's a repeat of what we've had in the first Wertungslauf for minis. So we've had exactly the same thing happen here in juniors. But this is from what my understanding is as of now. Some drivers getting out of their car. I think they're probably going to be told to go around for another lap. And one driver deciding to get out of the car and do some jogging on the spot. Hang on a second, I thought we weren't in the gym class here in Wittgenborn. So Janis Diak just having a discussion with Mike Wagner. As to what the plan of action is. So the carts have started circulating once again after a little bit of a delay. So at the moment we are running close to 15 minutes behind schedule. Also, I did forget to mention that Leandro Fischer was also not on this. Everyone else decided excuse me, move out of the dummy grid. So we're going to try this again and get things going. Into the final corner, into the tram lines. Are they going to start accelerating? Well, the timer has started counting down, and this has changed everything. So Montego Masson has actually led the field across the start-finish line to start the race. So Janis Diak went off into the distance, and I think now has ended up right at the back, because there will be a barrage of carts waiting until they come across the line. And now the race really gets underway, but it's been turned upside down on its head. Now, one of the reasons being is that if they don't make the dummy grid, they can get dispensation to race, but they have to start from the back of the grid. Moritz Volber has just gone up the inside of, looks like, Oli Glan. There's some more positions being changed. So there are a couple of study cuts in there, one of them being Rafael Balzer, who is currently running in. But it has changed. There's a lot of changes happening. So Montego Masson leads the way. Lewis Jacobs in second. Moritz Volber in third. Gregor Feigenspan, Adrian Hoare, Rafael Renhofer, Rafael Balzer, Austin Lee. Now, Austin Lee was one of several drivers that started at the back end of the field. Austin Lee started 18th as Renhofer up the inside of Adrian Hoare. And there is Austin Lee, who looks to have gotten past Rafael Balzer. And Austin Lee now is effectively in what is 7th position. So the drivers come across the line. And Renhofer confirmed in 5th. Austin Lee in 7th, and closing in on Adrian Hoare just puts in a 48.723 second lap time. Ritter Thomas in the 222 is the fastest out there. He's currently P11. Hugo Güssel has gotten past Oli Glan in the meantime. And another move happening that is a bit further down the order, as that was Gregor Feigenspan being passed by Rafael Renhofer, as Austin Lee trying to get up the inside of Adrian Hoare, and then all of a sudden Rafael Balzer decides to steamroll in. And Maximilian Schreier looks to be losing a position or two. Well, it was David Schnell that lost a position. Zino Falk has dropped down to 16th, courtesy of Leon Vakula. And of those that are pretty much a few seconds behind, Jonny Mertz in 18th, Farin Mega 19th, and Farin would have started in pole position. So if the drivers and the carts are not in the dummy grid, then they can actually be put into the not the escape lane, so to speak, but more the starting position for when, if you don't make it in on time, you get the clearance to race. You've got to go into the sin bin, so to speak. That was the term I was looking for. Very hockey related, but never mind. And great battles up and down the order. Austin Lee battling away with Gregor Feigenspan. And Austin Lee, I think, is ahead of him now. So Austin Lee has made up, well, he's been gifted a few positions, but, you know, any driver will be happy with that because it means it gives them a bigger opportunity. And there's a move from Rafael Renhofer up the inside of Moritz Volber to take 3rd place. Now, Renhofer was starting P13 in this race. He did put on Instagram stories earlier today saying started P13. Let's see what I can do. Well, he's now in what is third place, and he's got to start chasing down the pair of Lewis Jacobs and Montego Masson. And what Lewis Jacobs is only less than a second up the road from Raphael Renhofer. Austin Lee now up into 5th place, half a second behind Nies Racing's Moritz Volber, and Lee, based out of Weisendorf these days. Family originates from the Philippines and also from Oregon in the United States of America. Showing good pace. Was P7 on the road in race 1, but was basically disqualified. Was excluded through an incident that as deemed by the stewards. Now is within 2.5 tenths or so of a second on Moritz Volber, as Raphael Renhofer putting the pressure down on Lewis Jacobs. So what they did was, what they have done is that they have made sure things have gone rather quickly. Fine Mega though, 19th position at the minute. Could use this as a drop score actually. Is the fastest driver out there, the only one to break under the 47-second bracket, as Raphael Renhofer gets the move done on Lewis Jacobs. Moritz Volber and Austin Lee waiting for their chance, as Austin Lee up the inside of Moritz Volber. That's a clean move from the 2-2-3. Last year's Minimax champion. This is his first full season as a junior. It's not been an easy one. A change of teams in the midway point of the season. He's been competing in multiple different championships, including the Euro Trophy, the BNL Karting Series, and most recently the Belgian match. Raphael Balzer fending off the attacks and advances of Adrien Rohr and Maximilian Schreier in the battle for what is P7 on the road. I think Austin Lee feels that there's an opportunity of maybe even a 3rd place finish. I think it could even be a 2nd place finish. Raphael Renhofer is not closing in on Montego Masson. Montego Masson has scarpered away into the distance. He's 2.5 seconds up the road. And if you were going to say to me, I'm sorry, but that was incredible saving from Gregor Feigenspann, I think I just saw there, who's behind Adrien Rohr and Raphael Balzer. Meanwhile, Austin Lee putting the pressure on Lewis Jacobs for P4. He's bringing along Moritz Volber, who's just passed along for the roller coaster ride. And through the chicane, he done by all 4 drivers between 2nd and 5th. Austin Lee waiting for his chance to get past Lewis Jacobs. Won't do it yet, might do it maybe in the next couple of corners. Seems to be a little bit of a sweet spot for him at the moment, but not on that particular occasion. Raphael Balzer ahead of Adrien Rohr, but Feigenspann whacked the curbs on that infield section just a lap ago. And through turn 1 they go, through the chicane, into the next left-hander. Austin Lee a little bit more calm and composed, a little bit tighter on the apexes from the 2-2-3 in comparison with the 2-2-8. Lewis Jacobs just up ahead. Balzer trying to keep Adrien Rohr at bay. And we've got 3.5 minutes to go, well, just under 3.5 minutes to go. Montego Masson has pretty much checked out as Austin Lee up the inside through the hairpin on Lewis Jacobs. And Moritz Volber tries to get through. Lewis Jacobs got a good run of traction coming out of the hairpin, but Austin Lee was quick to go on the defensive, and he's done exactly the same here as Balzer and Rohr nearly come to blows, and that nearly compromised Feigenspann in the process in the 211. Some great clean racing, as now Austin Lee has a bit of clean air. Can he chase down Raphael Renhofer in the next 2 3/4 minutes plus an additional lap? Easier said than done. So this is now the Austin Lee train, and it's starting from 3rd down to 8th position, rounded out by the 211 of Adrien Rohr. The 211 of Gregor Feigenspann. 2 minutes on the clock to go. Renhofer is going quicker. Feinmega still languishing down in 19th position. Has put in the fastest lap of the race of 46.815 on the completion of 10 laps of racing. And Moritz Volber fancies an opportunity on Lewis Jacobs. The move could be incoming very soon, but I don't think this time around it will happen. But no one has retired from this run. Müller now rounds out the top 10. A good run result for the youngster, who was last year in Minimax, so one of several drivers that has made the move up to juniors for 2021 full time. Rafael Balzer is soaking up the pressure like a sponge. The 217 from Beulah Kart Racing Team, who is currently in 6th position ahead of Kraft-Motorsport's Adrien Rohr. But Austin Lee's done a great job. Started P10 on the revised start because of the drivers in front of him that did not take the start. That was 8 places. And he's made up another 7, so that's a total of 15 positions gained for the 223. So Montego Masson still leads by 2.272 seconds ahead of Raphael Renhofer. Then it's a further 2.6 seconds back to Austin Lee. And it looks like, oh, Leandro Fischer has been lapped already by the top 2. And Austin Lee has got to just try and hang on, try and get past Leandro Fischer very, very quickly indeed, if he can, because there's now 13 seconds on the clock. I think we could be onto our last lap very, very shortly if the timer runs out before, well, Montego Masson. Has he crossed the line yet? Timer has hit 0. And final lap board is out. Austin Lee just needs to get past Leandro Fischer, and the 223 from JJ Racing gets through. So does Lewis Jacobs. And Leandro Fischer had the presence of mind just to lift off the throttle and let them all through. But it has been a bit of a formality for Montego Masson. Hasn't really looked back. Raphael Renhofer has managed to get through into 2nd position, and it's going to be a welcome result for Austin Lee, his best of the season so far. But out of the final corner, it is going to be the 282. Montego Masson wins Wertungslauf 1 here at Wittgenborn. 2nd, it's Raphael Renhofer. Austin Lee in 3rd position from 18th on the grid. Lewis Jacobs in 4th ahead of Moritz Volber. Raphael Balzer in 6th. Adrien Rohr, Gregor Feigenspann, Richard Thomas and Tom Müller round out the top 10 positions. Looks like Zino Valka didn't make it to the finish, unfortunately, with 13 laps complete in 25th. Running out the 24 that finished as many laps as possible, apart from Leandro Fischer, who finished down off of the leaders. It was Maximilian Schreier, Leon Vacula, Hugo Gütel, Feinmega making it up to 14th, so we'll score a couple of points from this race. Ahead of Oli Glan, Jonas Ungrada running at the top 17 with David Schnell, Nikita Genza and Johnny Martz running at the top 20. Mikkel Pedersen in 21st ahead of Lewis Dedling. Nevio Fischer and Leandro Fischer completing the 24 strong that finished and took the checkered flag, with Zino Falca retiring with a couple of laps to go.